Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. And today I get to hang out with my friend, Easton Garcia, who is the director of Citywide Initiatives at COSILoveYou and School Connect. Easton, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Johnny. Good to be here.
You're a multifaceted man.
Maybe,
You got a lot
maybe.
going on.
Yeah, I'm just a curious person.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Curious person, and you got your fingers in a lot of pies, and so we're gonna start to talk about that today and unpack that. So cause I love you. How recently did you start working with that
yeah, this past
organization?
August, so 6 months or so.
You mind describing that for us a little bit, and then also the School Connect?
Describing Cause I Love You.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cause I Love You or COS I Love You is an organization, a nonprofit here in Colorado Springs. Our mission is to unite and activate local churches and help them to be the best partners for our city.
man. Can you give me some examples of some things y'all have done in the city?
Yeah, we do a few. We have some really great initiatives. One of them is one of the more well-known ones is it's called City
Yeah.
Serve Day. We do
Yep.
it twice a year, mobilize about 2,000 people, around 100 or so projects. Those are in nonprofits, schools, cleaning riverbeds, also all over the place. That's a really fun citywide thing. We also have some more listening sort of things where we host events where we can listen to city government or thought leaders and expose church people, expose people in our city to needs in our city, and then sort of activate around how do you address those things? Where do you start?
Yeah.
And then more recently, a more recent initiative is around schools. How do we help build community partnerships around schools?
Yeah. Right. And you're overseeing that portion of the organization.
That's right. Yeah, primarily overseeing what we call School Connect.
Yep. All right. And what are you hoping to accomplish with School Connect?
Yeah, we hope that every school in Colorado Springs has a village built around it. A village is a multi-sector group of people that rally around a school. So that's people from the faith community, business community, community members, parents, students, whomever makes sense to rally around an individual school and be that school's biggest champions.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how that works later. Um, but amazing organization. I've been a part of City Serve, and so I've gotten to see firsthand, and like clean the riverbeds firsthand with my kids, and it's a beautiful contribution to the city. And I will even say, like Cause I Love You is a remarkable organization in the sense that most cities don't have something like this, which is like this epicenter between the church community, civic, government, the business sector, and the nonprofit sector. Y'all sit right in the middle, and then you leverage all those connections to meet needs on a large scale.
Sure. It's an incredible organization. Yeah, a lot of groundwork well before me. I keep saying it's like walking through an orchard that's been planted long ago. The relationships that already exist, the fruit that's come of those relationships. It's been really, really fun over these past 6 months.
Yeah, yeah. And you work for Stu Davis,
I do.
and tell us a little bit about him and the work that he's planted.
Yeah, because I Love You's existed for about 10 years or so. Started, there's a lot of reasons why it started, but I mean, it really was to join churches together, unite churches around needs in our city. And started around City Serve Day and has grown to multiple City Serve Days. And then as we've sort of progressed into understanding where do we need to serve, where is service needed, how do we create these places where we can listen better, where we can mobilize better, where we can bring maybe dissimilar ideas or dissimilar sectors together and then aim at flourishing for our city.
Yeah, man. Now is Stu the founder?
He's one of them.
One of the founders. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't actually know that story. I need. I'll find that one out later.
Yeah, I
Uh,
have Stu on.
yeah, yeah. But let's jump into a little bit about your origin story and where you grew up, and let's get to know Easton a little better.
Sure. Yeah, I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Um, I like to say my family's been in Albuquerque. Well, I should say my grandpa likes to say, when he was still alive, my grandpa likes to say that the Montoya family's been in Albuquerque since the 1500s. So a long time in the Rio Grande Valley, long history, tons of family throughout there.
Yeah. Now, what's it like to have that? Because I actually can't even imagine being rooted in a place that long to have that kind of legacy. What was it? What was that like in experience?
In experience. I mean, it's like knowing. So, for instance, my mom currently lives in the house that she grew up in.
Yeah.
So that's 70 years of living in the same place in the same neighborhood. My grandpa lived in the same place for forever. We could go when I remember being relatively little and going to places that he had businesses along Route 66, or it's called Central in Albuquerque. So him saying, this was like my first plumbing shop, this is my second plumbing shop. Um, just a lot of the city growing around where you've grown up, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so for instance, there's a part of Albuquerque called Old Town,
Yeah.
and my grandpa used to just say this was just town. When I was growing up, this was town. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, I imagine they just know everybody. Um,
Yeah, can be a pretty small city.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, very cool, man. Well, let me say, as we're moving on, the thing I've noticed about you, Easton, I would kind of describe it as a quiet strength. I think you're a stabilizing force. I was actually really excited to see that you got hired on over at COSILoveYou, because I actually I love that mission. I love what they're doing. I kind of stand a little bit in awe of what they're doing in our city and the impact that they're making. And when I saw you post on LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn posted for you. I don't know if you actually posted it.
Yeah, I don't know that I did either.
That you had this new job at COSILoveYou. I was just like, that sounds right. That sounds right. Because I know that you're a stable, passionate, but passionate in a quiet way. And just a voice that I like to listen to whenever you speak. So,
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I mean, I was pretty honest in saying that to Stu initially, saying I will never be the one on the stage yelling and rallying and saying, "Follow me." But I I like being behind the scenes, moving things.
yep, yeah, man, yep. And you love people. You genuinely love people. I think as we start to trace your career, the different things that you're doing, because I Love You is only one of the things that you're doing, but pretty much everything you're doing seems to tie into people and community and thriving. I'd say those are the words.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So as we're getting to your superpower a little bit, but first I do want you to maybe give us a little bit of understanding. So we talked about Cause I Love You. We talked about School Connect as part of what you're doing. What are some of the other things that you're doing in the world?
Yeah. My wife and I own real estate, so it's a longer story on how we got there, but we own apartments in New Mexico, Alabama, Colorado. I sit on a board. One of the reasons why I came to Cause I Love You is I sit on a board for an organization called Shine Partnership, or Shine
Yeah.
School Partnership,
Yeah.
and does something very similar to School Connect in Albuquerque.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And so that experience was part of what made you a great candidate. Because you started that, right? The one in Albuquerque, or you were a part of the group that started it.
Yeah, part of the founders, yeah.
Yeah. So then it makes sense to bring you over here and kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, it's a very similar. It has a lot of similarities and also very dissimilar, different contexts, different. Albuquerque is a one-to-one church school partnership, finding the right church, finding the right school, and then from sort of a program management perspective, walking with them over a long period of time. School Connect here in the Springs is more like finding a wide group of partners, lots of partners to come around a single school. One of those partners being a faith partner.
Yeah. Got it. So there's three slices in your pie right now, it sounds like. One slice is the Cause I Love You, School Connect. One slice is you're on some boards, right? You're serving on certain boards. And then the last slice is Dwell Properties, in which you own some real estate, and specifically rental apartments.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So, you're not busy. You got plenty of spare time.
The biggest pie, the thing that like takes up the most of the pie would be just family stuff.
Just
You didn't
family
say
stuff.
that.
I could say
it's
that.
crazy town.
Yep. Yeah, I found that. Yeah. So when you say family, tell us about your family.
Yeah, wife, been married a long time at this point. It makes me feel old, almost 21 years. And then 4 kids
Four
from
kids.
9 to 17.
Yeah, dude. That's there. Your quiver is full, man.
It's full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lots of different ages of experience. So
For
Plenty of,
sure. I have one son. Well, my oldest son is going on his first college visit next weekend.
yeah,
Yeah, it's wild.
dang. That is wild. I've been through that season and it's wild. So is he thinking to go out of state?
Maybe. This is out of state. This is to Laterno. It's in
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah, yeah. All right, that's a wild part of the journey, man. Yeah, so I've got one who's out of the house and married, and then I've got the rest 14, 12, and 10. So my quiver is tied with your quiver. All right, man. So tell us a little bit about, because now we know like kind of the context and some of the things you're doing in the world. What makes you good at these things? So what would you say is your superpower, as far as you can tell?
What makes me good at those things? Well, it's a lot of things. Um, I said at the beginning, I'm a curious person. So I love I love learning about new things. Not necessarily super deep. Like I don't, some people dive in and will learn everything about one thing. I like knowing lots of things about lots of things. I'm kind of a generalist in that way, like a
Yeah,
very curious generalist.
yeah.
And so that allows me to connect lots of different domains in what seem like dissimilar places and be able to leverage ideas and capacities from them.
That is cool. So can you make that concrete for me?
Yeah, so it might seem dissimilar to have a school partnership and apartments and be part of a church plant and do school things in Colorado Springs, but to me they all feed each other. There's community elements, there's leadership elements, there's volunteer people things, there's the aspects of running nonprofits, revenue. There's a whole bunch of overlapping
Yeah.
things to me.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yep. And the first thing you said was community. So we're going to come back to that in a moment because I think that is a huge unifying factor of what you're doing on all fronts. Um, and I will say, so you did take the Superpower Quest assessment, and you came out with a core drive of harmony, which means I care more about relationships than about getting things done. So you're relational. You would identify relational as kind of your primary driver, and
For
then you
sure.
put primary hero type connector, secondary hero type nurturer. So connector nurturer means you're doubled down on that relationship energy, right? Like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think so. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, Peacemaker, Enneagram numbers, Peacemaker.
yeah.
Yeah, I keep wanting it to be something else, but it keeps coming back as Peacemaker.
Why do you want it to be something else?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with it today. But I would say when I was younger, those words like challenger or maybe in a warped perspective of what a leader is, it's easy to say these other things sound like leaders. Peacemaker doesn't sound like a leader.
Yeah,
Yeah, harmony doesn't sound like a leader. And I would say I'm past that point today, but in my younger years, for sure.
yeah. That's so funny. I've had a very similar journey. So I'm harmony also, core drive, and connector also is my first hero type, just like yours. And then I'm dreamer. And dreamer comes after that for me. But I always thought that was somehow lacking, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
it didn't have the spark, the Rambo Arnold Schwarzenegger
yeah.
kind
Command
of.
or something like that, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And yet we both ended up leaders
What are you gonna do?
in a lot of ways. Owners, leaders, right? Yeah, all those things. Um, yeah, and then in the alignment funnel you put vision. So you're more comfortable big picture than in the details.
I am. I've learned that I need people around me who are in the details,
Yeah. All
or I
right.
have to be, or I have to be very intentional about capturing details and know how am I going to move this next thing.
Yes. Yep. Same way. You build systems, or you rely on other people
For
in
sure.
those areas, and the same for me. So calling. So now as we get into calling is, I think, you know getting into the common thread of what you're actually trying to do in the world, what you feel called to do in the world. And it seems to have a lot to do with community. Can you tell us a little bit about where that comes from?
I don't know where it comes from, to be honest. Maybe as a person that connects with harmony, harmony is important to me. Feeling connected, accepted, part of is important to me. And so I like creating being a part of places that generate that.
Love how you put that, bro. Yes. Yeah. Now, would you say growing up that you had that experience of feeling connected and feeling part of, or would you say you had, where are some moments where you did feel that and moments where maybe you didn't? Either one is fine.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about New Mexico a little bit and having close family. Was pretty connected with extended family. My cousins were my best friends growing up, and so I was always spending the night there, or they were spending the night at my house. So I had a lot of connectedness for sure.
Yeah. All right. That's good, man. So there's a part of that was just innate and baked into how you grew up in a place that your family had been since the 1500s.
Yeah, maybe I've not thought about it in that lens, but I think there's definitely some familial elements that I experienced as a kid. I was homeschooled, so I spent a lot of time at home with my family and then extended family things. So our house was a pretty tight-knit community.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the gift. So because you part of, I won't say because, but you have experienced that gift. You've experienced being a part of something. You've experienced that closeness, that connection. And let me ask this question. Do you remember when you first realized that not everybody's got it like that? Not that experience that you just described is very foreign to probably most people?
No, I mean, what I remember, this kind of bleeds into organizational culture, which is also a place that I think is where people can thrive or community can happen. And I remember being a relatively young adult and having a leader, a boss, who was the opposite of that sort of environment. Just created this really terrible place to work, terrible culture, and thinking, this is super crummy. I don't like this place. I'm not thriving in this place. Thinking, really thinking, why is this? Why does this feel so yucky?
And what was your conclusion?
Organizational culture, those things like safety, vulnerability, purpose.
Yeah.
Daniel Coyle talks about those.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So your one way to look at your calling is to bring those experiences and those words you just said, the safety, thriving, you said, connection, being a part of, to bring those to more people, right? To call people more into that experience, to create spaces for people to experience those things.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And so now you get to do that through School Connect, COSILoveYou. You get to do that through Dwell Properties. I'm sure that the boards that you're a part of have something to do with that. They're companies that have something to do with, or they're organizations where you're getting to create that. Obviously, you're as a dad and a husband. That's what you're trying to create. How has that influenced how you raise your kids?
Creating places that people can thrive or creating communal places. Yeah, I mean, real practically, it means asking my kids to go. We got a new neighbor across the street. So my daughter's 9. She has 3 friends in the neighborhood, and asking them if they'd be willing to go over and just chalk the neighbor's driveway. So they created this amazing driveway of welcome to the neighborhood and had St. Patrick's Day themed things.
Yeah.
What a fun, it was a fun activity for them. They had so much fun for, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. And then the new neighbor gets to have this incredible driveway.
Wow. That's cool.
So I think in small ways, it's been opening our house up to events, to functions. It's hard to say quickly, but we didn't always live this way as a family. So we moved into a neighborhood a number of years ago when our kids were little and spent probably 5 years thinking, when is somebody going to bring us cookies? When is the neighborhood parade?
Mm-hmm.
When is like the thing going to happen where somebody welcomes us? And then had, through a variety of circumstances, had this awakening of maybe we're supposed to be those people. And so started being those people in our neighborhood more intentionally through putting a table in our front yard, through celebrating things like Good Neighbor Day with our neighborhood,
Yeah.
through just engaging them in community service things like we started volunteering or donating to a food pantry. And so we would go to our neighbors and say, you guys want to help with this thing?
Yeah.
But that was a long time to get there. We did it wrong for a number of years.
Yeah.
So when we moved to our new house here in the Springs, we realized we are called to be those cookie people, to be the people that when we move into a neighborhood, we throw a party in our driveway, not waiting for somebody else to throw a party in their driveway.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And so what has that created in the neighborhood? Like, what did you notice once you started doing that, as opposed to like staying and being like, when's somebody going to make us cookies? Right. And now
Hmm.
you're getting resentful and you're getting bitter and you're like, you're feeling less included. But then you did the thing that I think is very hard for people to do, which is, all right, oh, I'm going to change this environment. I'm going to be what I hoped people would be for me. What have been the positive impacts of that?
Yeah, I should say we inherited a pretty good legacy. The family that lived in our house prior did a lot of really cool things in this neighborhood. So we inherited a great neighborhood as it was. But we live neighbors next door to us are partners in crime. We get to do some fun stuff like movie nights. We've done pancake breakfast. Pasoli is a New Mexico thing, so we'll do pasoli and cookie decorating for Christmas. We've done traveling Thanksgiving, so we'll do Thanksgiving in three different people's
Yeah.
houses, and like go as a neighborhood to all these houses.
Yeah.
I forget what that's called, but it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And who's like the mastermind behind this? Like who's pushing it, or is it a
Hmm.
partnership?
We really try to do it in partnership. Our
Yeah.
neighbors next door, they'll say, "Hey, we should do this thing like a pancake breakfast," and we jump in together
Got it. So somebody comes up with the idea, you're going to put your hand to the plow.
for sure.
Yeah. Man, I love it, man. I love the way you're living. Like connectors, I'm a connector, you're a connector, but the way you live it, the way we both live it out is just so different. But I think that's what's beautiful is that there is so much room for diversity of gifting and the way that we live it out. Like I love what you're doing, man. It's amazing. The neighborhood aspects of it, the neighborhood elements. It does remind me of Kelly Bull. Do you know Kelly Bull from Hey Neighbor?
I do. I do. Yeah, she's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah. Have you heard her tell her story about when she first got to her neighborhood?
I don't think so. At least not fully.
Very interesting. I'll try to remember to link to her story because I got to interview her and link to her story. But there are some things that you're going to really resonate with in her experience. Shout out to Kelly Bull. She's awesome. So,
She is. She's been helping School Connect in a tremendous way. I'm grateful for her.
she has. In what way? Can you share
Yeah,
about that?
I met with her a number of months ago and just told her we need more people to care about schools. Are there ways that we can share ideas in this space? And so we've had two or three people from her network come to some of our trainings interested in serving schools in really specific ways.
Yeah, right. Because she mobilizes people that are interested in thriving neighborhoods and thriving communities.
Yeah, there's some real overlap in people that want to care for their community and care for their school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is so cool, man. That is exactly what I would kind of expect to hear with the heart that she has and the gift that she has. Um, yeah, you got to hear her talk about she was like a not a bot like a botanist,
Hmm. A landscape
yeah,
architect, I think.
landscape architect, but was big on the science. Was
Hmm.
really big on the science of plants and then found that people you can cultivate people in the same way that you cultivate plants, right? And so it's this beautiful metaphor, dude. Like it's crazy. I was like, whoa, this is like deep poetic stuff, but it happened in our
Yeah,
interview.
that's
um,
awesome.
so you are actually kind of guiding us into my next question, which is who you help and why. So let's talk about, because right now you were just talking about Hey Neighbor helping out, helping you help schools, helping you get volunteers, helping you get what you need in order to cause these schools to thrive. Can we go a little bit deeper into how who you're helping, who your target audience, what is the school's demographic or profile that's gonna need this the most and gonna work with you to implement this? What characteristics are you looking for? Why are you drawn to them? All that kind of stuff.
Our hope is to help every school in Colorado Springs. We actually have 17 school districts in
Yep.
El Paso County,
Yeah.
which is a huge number of school districts for our size. So we're focusing currently on the biggest four. That's sort of our primary demographic. And the hope is that our dream would be that every one of those schools, which is about, I'm gonna get the number wrong, about 200 schools in those four biggest districts. I might be mistaken on the exact, but around 200 schools. in those four biggest districts, I would, a big dream would be 200 schools that would have thriving villages, what we call villages, around them.
Yeah.
Characteristics are there's a little bit of work involved. I mean, so we need the right leader who's the principal to be ready, sort of a readiness factor is can you are you capable? Are you able? Is now the right season for you to put in a little bit of work? Um, we want we want schools who are able to mobilize some of their own partners.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to look outside of maybe what you know and say who do I know or who do I need to know or who can connect me to somebody that I need to know, it's another readiness factor.
Are you connected to Darian Latimer at all?
Yes, I mean I know him. I've met a couple times. We talked at one of our last School Connect meetings.
Oh, you did. Okay, so he's been to
Yeah,
School Connect meetings. Okay, all right, that's good. I knew it was a very low chance that he hadn't, but I wanted to make sure that
yeah, he's in.
yeah, yeah, he's such a good brother, man. I love that guy. All right, so you're looking for a good leader. You're focusing on the four biggest districts for now. That encompasses about 200 schools. How many schools total do you know? Like in the Colorado Springs
I should know.
area?
I don't want to say. I'll say the wrong number.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So, but more than that, right? Because you're saying those 200 are just the four of the 17 school districts.
I can look it up, but yeah,
Yeah, I don't need
that's
you to
right.
look it up. Yeah, we're talking hundreds more schools, or at least a lot more schools. I don't want to be crazy with it. Ultimately, you're pushing to grow this thing to where it's all encompassing, where every single school in those 17 districts has a thriving community built around it. That would be the perfect ideal.
That would be an ideal world. Some of those are pretty rural and
Okay.
relatively far from the center of the city.
Okay.
So I don't really know how realistic that is. Certainly those
Okay.
that are core to the city or metro area,
Yeah.
for sure.
Those are going to be the ones.
But
Okay. That. Yeah.
there'd be tremendous benefit for those rural communities to have villages built around them,
So you would be open to that.
for sure.
Okay. All right. And what does a thriving community look like? Can you tell us a little bit more about how School Connect works? And you know, there's a lot more method to it than just, hey, we built a community, a thriving community. You know, like you actually are bringing business owners. Like, tell us a little bit about the mechanics of how this works.
Yeah, so the School Connect model does have a lot of mechanics built underneath it, but I like to say at the forefront, we're really about building relationships because when we know that when we build relationships, we can build connection, we build compassion, we build capacity in schools, which are all things that schools desperately need, connection and compassion and capacity. So although we talk about some intentional movements and ways to structure villages, it is all framework or
Yeah.
scaffolding to build relationships.
Right.
Um, so our goal is to find the right principal through with district participation, and then we do some coaching, some training with that principal to help them identify what we call our target goals. What is the most important thing to you for your school right now? It's kind of the question. And often that gets very tactical. Sometimes it will be something like, we need our food pantry filled up. We love that kind of target goal. We also love to say, acknowledge that is a need, but then say, if you step back for just a bit, what's the like up here dream? What do you know of your students? What do you know of your school? And what do you hope for? And they will say crazy things like, I want my kids to go on a snow ski trip, or I just want my teachers to have the best party ever to celebrate them because I know they work so hard.
Yes. Right. So you're helping them to dream a little bit about where they want to go, what they want to accomplish, what they see as, you know, the principal's going to be able to see. A good principal will see what his or her people need.
Legitimately, principals are heroes in our cities. Uh, they are looking at so much data. They have so much information in front of them that tells them where their school needs to grow or where it can grow. They have information from the district level, and then they have just their own. They are seers and connectors and hearers, and they say, as I look over this landscape of my school, I really would love for this to happen, which is really fun. That's really fun.
So fun.
So we help them build these target goal statements that are just real concise. We like to say that they are easy to understand. They're invitational, so a
Mm-hmm.
partner can see themselves in it, and there's something in reach. So there's something that a partner can say, I think we can tackle this. I mean, it can't be It can't be something that is so far into the future that it's not possible for a community member to see themselves
Right.
being part of it.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, we have some training for community partners, for community members. We call it our school champion training. So we invite people to come to school champion training. We teach them some of the same language, and we tell them this is what we're aiming at with principals. Principals are going to be telling you these sorts of statements. We're going to be listening with this sort of posture. The posture that we encourage community members to have is that of a listener, of a learner, and then becoming a contributor.
Yeah.
So we help sort of train community partners to really remove the hero complex sometimes. It's easy for me, it's easy for community members to come into a school and say, let me tell you all the things that are broken in this place and how I can fix them, instead of coming as a listener and saying, tell me about your school, learning, being really curious about the answers. Why does this work that way? Why would you hope to see that change? And then saying, in light of what I've heard, light of my curiosity, I think I could contribute this thing. I don't know if it's the right thing, but I think my business or my personality or my skill, I could contribute this thing. And that creates a real honest and open dialogue.
Yeah. Yep. I love
But
it.
that leads to training principals, training community members, and then getting them ultimately around the same table, which is what we
Yes.
call a community roundtable discussion.
Yes. Yes. And do those happen on a cadence?
They do in the fall and in the springish.
Okay. All
And
right.
it kind of has there's some uniquenesses or context to each
Sure.
district.
Sure.
With the district we're working with the most currently, it's happening fall and spring.
Yeah. Right. And so what the experience is something like the principal gets to come and be surrounded by a bunch of loving supporters who really want the principal to win and wants the community to win. And now
Hmm.
it's a conversation of how can we that are gathered around this table with you, principal, help you to achieve these goals in the school? Is that
Yeah,
something
for
like
sure.
that?
I can give you a real practical example. So just last month, a principal had a goal. We had some cafes. We call these cafes or community cafe roundtable discussions. A school held a roundtable discussion. The principal came with a goal that was something like, I would like to throw an event for my teachers. I just want to celebrate my teachers before the end of the school year. They brought that idea to the community table, and then in light of the community tables around the table, somebody said, I think I know somebody who has a venue. I can call them and maybe we could do this thing at a venue. And it was actually the Red Barn event space, which I'm not familiar with, but the Red Barn event space. I think I know them. And somebody else said, I think I know this casino thing that could do an event like casino sort of style. And it all of a sudden it unfolded, and now it is this teacher appreciation event that teachers can come to in this barn on an evening, a Friday evening, that has like a real life casino set up in it where
Yeah.
you win money. It's like it's fake money, right?
Yeah.
But where you win, and that table also started using their networks to find prizes, so you can buy these things at the end. There are things like there's a trip to Keystone. There was tattoo. You could buy a tattoo. You could buy a tattoo service, house cleaning, and then just gift baskets, all sorts of crazy cool things.
Yeah.
Cole Brands is coming and doing some on-site heat press things like t-shirt making. But the point is, this principal who had a goal of, I want to throw a party for my teachers. That's
Yeah.
the idea.
Yeah.
All of these contributors started piling on top of it, and now it's this pretty cool event.
Man, it sounds like it's multiplication, right? Like it's this idea, and then there's a little piece that gets added, another piece, and all of a sudden it grows into this probably bigger than what the principal had imagined when
That's
they
our
first said
hope.
it.
I mean, we've seen that in multiple cases. We like to tell our principals to just brainstorm and then hold loosely their ideas around a project. So if their
Yeah.
project is, I want to support my teachers, and I think I want to give them I think I'd like to have cards written for them
Yep.
and bring that to the table.
Yep.
Sometimes that becomes lunch, like a full-blown lunch at your place with gift cards inside of the card,
Yeah.
not just
Yep.
not just a note of encouragement.
Oh, dude, I love it, man. And teachers, I mean, my wife's a teacher, and they I get to experience. My wife is an incredible teacher. She's a monster at what she does. She loves these kids so well. Like she is deeply just loved as a teacher. And I can see how teacher appreciation is just it's hard to honor the amount that these people are putting in, right? It's hard to and there aren't that many spaces for larger groups of people to even be thinking about it at that level, right? But I can imagine the results of even just one event like you're describing, like a lavish event, like we appreciate you so much that we put together this massive party for you. It's hard to understand probably the impact that that's having in teachers' hearts, right?
Yeah, I believe that.
Very cool, man. So let me ask you, how does this then get perpetuated, right? So it's one thing to come in, have this cafe, this conversational cafe, come up with an idea, and all of a sudden this really cool thing comes out of it. But then how do you have it so that it doesn't just stop there? Does that make sense? Like, how does it perpetuate because thriving community, you're talking about ongoing. You're not talking about a one-time event.
Yeah, I mean, the hope is that there's a cadence that we're building in a cadence of cafes. What we've seen in another district is us, Cause I Love You, hosting these community conversations over really a 3-year period. And just recently we had a school launch out of our cafe process to just do their own thing. So they're holding their own cafe-like conversation where they presented, I was able to attend it, and he was able to present target goals, inviting the community into, it was actually amazing. It was kind of like the format was where we've been, where we are, and then where we want to go. And he presented very clearly, this is where we need to go. You people in the room, there are about 50 partners in the room. 50 partners in the room. Are these 3 things that you think you could help me do? And it was super cool. So the hope is that we're creating this cafe rhythm
Yep.
twice a year,
Yep.
and that in that process, principals are adopting that as their own, and then eventually, because it would be beautiful if every school could have their own community conversation in their
Yep.
gym or in
Yep.
their library
Yep.
and do that on their own.
Yeah, man. And it only takes a couple times a year. I mean, for really amazing things to arise out of that time that would not have happened any other way.
Yeah, I had, I mean, our world is with churches, so I had a church partner say, this is the most mobilized and focused our church school partnerships have ever been after participating in these community conversations.
Right. Yeah. Because in these churches, sometimes what you have are people who are willing and desiring and have a heart for this, but there's no way, there's not really a structured way to channel that energy.
Yeah, I mean, educators are busy, so sometimes it's hard to find the right inroad or the right on-ramp. And so this cafe process, this village building process creates some really easy on-ramps. We pair this with CityServe, and so the whole process is paired with CityServe, meaning you have a community conversation, you might have a project, can we pump that over to CityServe and make that a CityServe project where we host it on the platform, you send these new partners to it, you invite new partners to it. We're trying to make it an ecosystem.
Yeah. That makes sense. You're trying to create a movement. You're trying to be a catalyst to a movement, and you're understanding, I think, that what you're really trying to do is ignite other people and empower other people towards ongoing transformation and change, as opposed to trying to be the transformation and change yourself. Am I
Sure.
pointing that out
Yeah,
right?
we just had this conversation this morning with the school district that we're not really in the position to be program managers. We're not able to be with every one of those target goals and every one of those principles and every one of the partners and help move them to the next thing. So we have to, from the beginning, we have to bake in some self-sustainability.
Yeah. That's the trick or the secret sauce or the empowering ideal behind this, is that you're not going to be program managers. You're going to be
Yeah, I think the
catalysts.
secret sauce is really that relationship idea.
Yeah.
You're less likely to abandon something when you've put a face to the principal, to the laundromat owner, to the restaurant owner, and you are bound to those people.
Yes. Yep. All right. This is wonderful. So we're going to talk about the dream. So how many schools are you working with right now, and how many schools are you trying to be working with in the near future?
Yeah, we just launched 20 schools in a school district here. And then we've previously worked with some schools in another school district. So I would say we're right around 40 schools,
Mm-hmm.
30, 35 schools
Yep.
regularly. And our hope is to be at 80 schools by the end of 2027. 80 schools in our sort of metro area.
Okay. And so my listeners, those people that are with us at this point, is there anything that they can like what are the kind of people that you would love them to be sending your way?
Hmm. I like to say that a healthy village has 10 people, 10 partners, right? So if you think of 80 schools, that's 800 partners
Yeah.
potentially,
Yeah.
which is a ton of people.
Yeah.
Those are those aren't a specific type of person other than somebody who's willing to be a listener, a learner, and a contributor with whatever they might have. And
Yep.
so those are business owners, those are interested neighbors, those are parents, those are students. And so I would love to have it's not because I love you having to collect 800 people, 800 partners. That's this part of the work of the school is to also contribute to those. But collectively, we need 800 people who want to rally around a school. And so, like I said, that's business owners, that's people of faith, that is churches as an organization,
Yep.
that is parents,
Yep.
that's that's the Mexican restaurant around the corner who could donate taco platters for a teacher appreciation thing,
Yes.
or like for the Red Barn thing, they donate a dinner for a family of four.
Yep.
There are lots of cool opportunities.
Oh man, it's people in the community that want to take care of the school in their community,
Hmm.
right? And are serious about it, and willing to act and to potentially give and sacrifice and be creative and care.
Yeah, it's people who have a vision, who understand that really schools are a portal to everything that happens in our city. You name the challenge in our city, and it's coming up in our schools. And educators are the people seeing those things. Educators are the people facing those things at the front door of their school. And so it's people who might live in our city and say, this place has these types of things, or there's so many of these things happening in our city. You can start addressing that thing in your school, in the school around the corner.
Very cool. Well, it's been a joy to sit with you, Easton, and to learn more about you, to hear the vision and the calling um, around community, around building thriving communities, and specifically around schools. Thanks for hanging out today.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks for having me.
And if anybody's whoever's been with us up to this point, thanks for joining us and getting to learn more about Easton. And I want you to be thinking, if there's anybody, if you're in the Colorado Springs area, or even if you're not, because I know a lot of these listeners are not in the Colorado Springs area, and you might be thinking about these kinds of themes in your own area, your own region, your own neighborhood. I want you to consider Easton to be a resource. And then if you have any hookups for him, any connections, then feel free to reach out to me, and we'll make it happen. But until next time, we appreciate it being with you, and we'll see you on the flip side. Take it easy.
Thanks.